Mr. Duarte, listen, your policy of getting rid of drugs out of your country is a strong move you're doing. Doing it with violence and killing people is definitely reminiscent of the opium wars that China had faced, and they had to actually take it to that extreme. I'm an advocate. I don't think drugs should be so heavy in our communities either because of what it caused people to do, but don't you ever get the gall in your mouth and heart to call the president of the United States the son of a whore. And I don't, first of all, you don't never do that, kid. Come to my neighborhood, come to Staten Island with that.
Seriously.
You know what I mean? And I don't care if it's Miss Clinton becomes the president, Mr. Trump, and I don't care if it's Mr. Bush, I don't care if it's Mr. Kennedy, I don't care whatever you win. You don't call the president of the United States the son of a whore.
Banks and Steelz in the building, flash the camera. I'ma drop the hammer. Things done changed the hip-hop, Sizzle and Bobby out the slammer. Hip-hop start on the East Coast and then move west down to Bama. I'ma bring it back to New York, roll those blunts and throw your hands up. Pass me a cup of the goose in the club with the juice in the bug getting bent out. Then I'ma slide with a dime to my ride and head up to my penthouse. Oh, I'm not trying to take it slow, working hard, cake and dough. Open up 24, we striving for that goal.
I'll stop at nothing, I will play this game that's so easily started.
Hi, I'm Elia Einhorn. Welcome to the Talkhouse Music Podcast. Here at the Talkhouse, we pair intelligent, notable musicians for unmoderated conversations and release a new talk each week. Regular listeners will have caught episodes like DJ Shadow chatting with Clams Casino, or our recent Pitchfork Music Festival doubleheader, where Brian Wilson spoke to Carly Rae Jepsen and Thundercat caught up with Kamasi Washington. Check out these and all of our past episodes, and subscribe to get new ones on Stitcher or iTunes. Who would have seen this coming? Paul Banks of Interpol and RZA of the Wu-Tang Clan forming a band together? Banks and Steelz, their new collaborative project, isn't just some throwaway one-off. It's the real deal. They just dropped their debut album, Anything But Words, featuring some very cool guests, including Florence Welch of Florence and the Machine, Kool Keith, and Wu-Tang Clan members Ghostface Killah, Masta Killa, and Method Man, and they're on tour now in the US and Europe. Producer and rapper Robert Diggs, better known as RZA, the leader of the Wu-Tang Clan, is a hip-hop icon. In addition to his work producing almost all of Wu-Tang's tracks, as well as many of the members' solo releases, he's also dropped a number of solo albums under various monikers and collaborated with artists as diverse as Kanye West, James Blake, and John Frusciante. An obsession with old martial arts movies is a defining element of his artistic aesthetic, and his love of film has blossomed into a parallel career as an accomplished actor, director, and score composer. He made the music for Kill Bill and Ghost Dog, and wrote and directed 2012's The Man with the Iron Fists. Paul Banks made his name as the frontman of Interpol, one of the indie guitar bands that ruled New York in the aughts. Like RZA, Banks has released music under a number of different names, including Julian Plenty and just plain Banks. Perhaps unpredictably, based on the sound of his main band, he's super into hip-hop. Like, obsessed. In 2013, he released a mixtape of hip-hop tracks he'd produced, featuring guests like LP and Talib Kweli. I invited him to DJ on Pitchfork Radio recently in New York, and he spun a rad set of deep cuts. Hip-hop was all he wanted to talk about. The seed of Banks and Steelz was planted back in 2011, when Banks laid some vocals on tracks RZA was producing. Things were casual at first, with the guys spending more time playing chess than recording. But by 2013, they were actively working on a record, fitting in recording around Interpol's 2014 El Pintor album and RZA's myriad projects. In what may be the Talkhouse's most freewheeling conversation to date, the guys sat down backstage at Lincoln Hall in Chicago to discuss RZA's enthusiasm for a recent Donald Trump speech, music production hardware versus software, the president of the Philippines' draconian drug policy and insulting President Obama, racist characters in Suicide Squad, why Bill Clinton was checking out a Chance the Rapper set, Jessica Alba, new action movies, confusing Bill Hader and Johnny Depp, and, oh yeah, their collaboration is Banks and Steelz. Check it out.
I love mastering beat machines, softwares. Anytime they make something, I buy it just to master it. So for me, it's like, okay, trying to...
Okay. That's part of your enjoyment.
It's part of my enjoyment.
Okay, that's a good attitude.
I would tell you that the first beat machine that the first sampler that I really got a hold of professional quality was called the SP1200.
Okay,
right. It's made by a company called Emu, who's out of business now. And I got it without the instruction manual. Now, meanwhile, it has a screen the size of basically the size of a
Fortune cookie text.
The size of a calculator.
Right.
That's the screen. And would you believe that I stayed up like maybe 36 hours in total until I mastered it, or until I knew how to make a beat, make everything it took to make it. And that particular sampler is the sampler that I use on Bring the Pain, which is a Method Man classic song, and a few other Wu songs. It was like, but I had mastering that sampler gave me the inspiration to always buy another machine and don't read the manual. See, when we got the montage, I was like, I didn't want to get the manual. Just let me bring it home for a day. Let me talk to her. Send her to my house.
Yeah, because I think that's partly to do because I think you retain information, that kind of information, better from doing and discovering rather than just like reading.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I did that with iMovie when I first was making like little videos and stuff. I had a 14-hour day one day. I got out of bed in my underwear, coffee, started a video, didn't stop until like 11 p.m. that night. Didn't even get dressed. And like that, but that was out of joy.
Right.
That was out of like, so I conquered the program because that was fun for me. With something like some of these audio software, I feel like because I'm trying to record and do other things, I don't want the stumbling block of the functionality of it. I just want to know like, cool, I did this, now I'm moving on to the next thing. Oh, I got to tweak that. And when every little step is now like a different, I don't know, I got to find the drop window that shows me where the fucking logo is for what I'm trying to do all over again. That isn't joyful for me. That's like a major interruption to my flow.
But that's been one of the biggest problems with software versus hardware nowadays, because hardware actually does have a definitive hit that button, hit play, record, sample, like the MPC, it has a definitive thing on it. And what happened to a lot of producers, they didn't cross over to the digital DAWs. They didn't cross over to those because of the functionality. But I think that they're getting better because they're realizing that, and this is true, if you got to go through all those functions, you forget your idea. You know what I mean? And the main thing is, what's the fastest way you can capture an idea? And Pro Tools has delivered on that.
Yeah.
Oh, so anyway, we're here. My name is RZA.
My name is Paul Banks.
We are Banks and Steelz. We're chilling right here. You guys kind of came in the middle of our conversation, but us geeking out.
So what are we talking about?
After we just finished talking about?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's we're in Chicago for those who want to know where we at the moment. You know what I mean? I've been up watching the news all morning.
Why? What's up?
Well, Trump was on, you know what I mean? He did his best speech today.
Yep.
Yeah. He did it like he may have got a few more fans today. Yeah. Talking about education, talking about every kid getting a chance to to go to the school of choice and being funded to go to that school. And he said something like, and the money follows the kid, The money follows the kid. So there's money that's invested into the kid, and as the kid continues, there's money that's continuing to be open to him.
Right.
So, his delivery today, it's good delivery.
Okay.
I usually kind of like laugh at him all the time because he just be rambling. Now,
well, that's like he was sort of known to be, for the people that were getting behind him, they kind of liked the freedom of his candid speaking. And then I sort of noticed when he started getting like on script and on message, when like the party was sort of like, yo, you can't be saying all this crazy shit, like stick to the message. I think people found him a little more dull and less convincing because it was less the real guy. Right. But now it sounds like maybe you're saying he found his footing with that.
Yeah, I think he found, because now he's repeating, but he's repeating in chunks. So it's more like he's repeating the 16-bar phrase rather than just keep going, drink, 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 drip, drip, come on, drink. He's like, he ain't doing that now. Now he's saying the verse, then he's bringing the hook in, then he's repeating the verse. So I was actually, it was good to hear him say that. Look, he got a strong chance, right, to win. And I know a lot of us is, especially like in the Black community, we've a lot of people feel that he doesn't represent our cause or our struggle. And probably we felt that about most politicians, but we always have more hope with the Democrats because, I guess some of the programs seem to trickle down to us. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it got such a phobia against just a phobia against the white supremacist idea in today's age to be perpetrated upon us. And whether he's one of those people or not, he resembles it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he talks with that ego, which to me, I'm from New York, so I know how he's talking. To me, I don't hear the ego. I'm like, that's New York, man.
Uh-huh.
You could go to any pizzeria and talk to a guy like that, and you're gonna get the same thing. The guy's gonna serve you a slice of pizza as if you're not paying for it. And if you don't want it, he's gonna move it, put it back in the oven and move to the next customer.
Right.
You know what I mean? He has that personality, and I'm from New York, so I respect it. But around the rest of the country, I think it doesn't. It's a tough thing, right? But like I said, today was the first time me, even as a guy who's concerned about our country, when he went to the education thing today, I was like, well, at least somebody is at least he's getting the focus. So then later on, though, like 20 minutes later on the news, and they said, well, that was Trump's great speech. And they go, yeah, he really followed the teleprompter well.
Right.
But you know what?
That's what I'm saying. Were you watching Fox though? Or what
Yeah,
was
I was watching Fox.
Okay, so they're saying it was a great speech. All right.
Yeah, no.
No, I'm not. That doesn't impact your opinion. I was just curious.
I like to watch Fox because they keep it gully.
Right. Wow.
You know what I mean? But anyway, what you think about it?
I mean, I feel like he said things in his campaign that were dangerous and very fucked up about immigration, about Muslims.
Yeah.
Very fucked up things. But I also didn't really think at any point that were he to come into power that he would actually act on those things. I thought that they were kind of hyperbole and just trying to rally a certain section of the voting public around kind of a little bit exaggerated, but kind of motivates very right-wing people. And so like, yeah, you're talking to me.
Man.
I don't really think a guy with his education and intelligence is going to try and implement any of the ridiculous things that he talked about doing. Whether or not you can forgive him for ever having said it is another question. I know most of my family and stuff, they're kind of like, you hear my brother, he's like outraged at the possibility that this guy is even got the nom. You know what I mean?
Right.
Personally, I kind of feel like, I don't know, some of this is politics and maybe it's dopey what he said.
Right.
But it does make me, there's two things I want to bring up with you on politics. Firstly, why did Bill Clinton go see Chance the Rapper when we were there?
Yeah.
And secondly, remember I brought up the Filipino president the other day?
Yeah.
Having people just murder people in the streets?
Yeah.
That shit's popping off at the moment too. But let's first Bill.
Okay,
Why do you think Bill went to see Chance the Rapper?
You know what?
Where were we when that happened?
We was in Made in America, Philadelphia Festival, and we're chilling. Chance the Rapper's on stage doing his thing. We all enjoying it. And here comes Bill Clinton.
15 feet from us.
Yeah, right there. And he's there checking out Chance the Rapper. He walks down the artist lane.
Yeah.
Which we didn't want to walk down that lane because we kind of like, we're a little cool. Like we're not, we here to see the dude, but we're not going to go and we're not going to go ahead and just.
No, we were off to the side. We had a nice position.
Yeah, we chilling.
But we saw him walk because he was going to. I guess he was between the barricade and the stage, right? He was like right there in front of Chance, and Chance is dope. So don't get me wrong. It was a great show. But what is Bill Clinton doing there?
What is Bill Clinton? I don't know. I guess he wanted to.
Is that his favorite musician?
It might be his favorite artist, right?
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Clinton, first of all, we appreciate you coming out to the hip hop concerts. You know what I mean? At least you can, You know what? Bill is a trumpet player, ain't he?
That's right. No, sax.
Sax. Maybe he was there to see
Donnie Trumpet.
Donnie Trumpet.
Yeah, our boy.
Yeah. Okay, second question.
Yeah, dude. So the Filipino dude who basically told him when he came into power, he's like, anybody that you know who's on drugs or dealing drugs, go kill him. It's cool. Don't worry about it.
Have you heard about this?
And so they've been doing it. Well, no, because it really got in the news because he was supposed to meet with Obama, and he said, if you ask me, the first quote I heard he said is, if you ask me about my policy of killing drugs, I'm gonna curse at you. And then the next thing he says is he says something else, and then I think it culminated with he called Barack Obama a son of a whore. And so at that point, before that, I think it was sort of they were debating, is Barack Obama going to have this meeting or not? Like, we'll get back to you. Like, currently...
no meeting.
Not TBD,
Yeah.
And then after the son of a whore just canceled, like, nah, we ain't
hold on.
meeting.
Hold on.
And
hold
apparently
on.
the Filipino stock market...
What's his name? What's that guy's name?
Duarte?
Mr. Duarte, listen, your policy of getting rid of drugs out of your country is a strong move you're doing. Doing it with violence and killing people is definitely reminiscent of the opium wars that China had faced, and they had to actually take it to that extreme. I'm an advocate. I don't think drugs should be so heavy in our communities either because of what it caused people to do. But don't you ever get the gall in your mouth and heart to call the president of the United States the son of a whore. And I don't, first of all, you don't never do that, kid. Come to my neighborhood, come to Staten Island with that.
Seriously.
You know what I mean? And I don't care if it's Miss Clinton becomes the president, Mr. Trump, and I don't care if it's Mr. Bush. I don't care if it's Mr. Kennedy. I don't care whatever you win. You don't call the president of the United States the son of a whore. You know what I mean? Because really, if you think about it, kid, you come over here and you want to see a lot of the whores. Think about who you're going to see.
So apparently
that's kind of hard body, but
their stock market crashed as a result.
Yeah, I mean, look, drugs can destroy a country. That's the fact. It's destroying many countries. It's destroying my neighborhoods. And so we do need to find a way to get out of that, you know what I mean, and how to fix that. And I don't think that our president should have the right to tell that president what he has to do to fix his country, like he can't tell us what to do to fix our country. But it has to be mutual respect.
I think where the thing is that that crosses over into like really fucked up human rights violations, and I feel like normally we wouldn't try and intercede with a country like, I don't think we have much of an economic investment. I don't actually know what I'm talking about, but I think a lot of shit could go on in the Philippines without us commenting on it.
Right.
But that is sort of the
I like the
now you got no dude. The problem,
Philippines?
yeah.
Man, we love Philippines.
But the problem, just one thing that it brought up for me is that it's interesting because I maybe a very hard line on drugs is an interesting argument. I personally kind of think, we shouldn't sweat drugs much at all. But the problem with what this guy's doing, even if you were one of these, someone who had a hardline idea about, drug policing, there's no due process. It's just like dead bodies. So how do you find out after the fact, like, that this guy really was selling heroin to fucking children, for instance, because he's dead? And so it just really highlights the point of having a fucking justice system and due process, because, like, who the fuck are you to decide that this person is in fact committing the crime? He's given the citizens authority to just murder drug dealers. So you could just go murder somebody that fucking you owe money to and say, nah, I totally saw that guy like selling crack. Do you know what I mean? There's no due process. So it's just that's out of control.
Tough, but it's, it depends on the situation of, now I'm only saying this as look, I got a dictator part of me, I got a Democrat part of me. That's just me. That's just how I grew up. That's what I've become.
Yeah.
My dictator part is like, when you're trying to fix something that's broke, you gotta sometimes, it's like you gotta amputate. Sometimes you gotta amputate. And his measure to me is amputating. He's like,
But we had that with the Rockefeller laws, and this is super fucked up. Rockefeller, that had people going to prison for like 25 years for like minor weed or like 3 hits of acid, and you're in jail for like 30 years.
That's not amputation.
It's dumber and worse. Even.
It's worse than amputation.
So, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's a hard one. I only say that because if drugs is destroying your country and destroying the growth of your people and the growth of your economics and the growth of your culture.
Well, is your shitty economics and lack of education what's destroying your country, or is it the drugs?
Well, I guess he's starting with the drugs because
right.
Because anytime I cut school when I was in high school to get high, and I had a whole class, like a whole. Everybody who cut, they all hung together. We was all drinking and getting high. So sometimes once you get introduced to something like that, it can really totally change your dynamic on life, and stop the progress of your community, your family, and all these things. So I mean, it's a delicate thing, and I don't believe death, should be. I think everything should live. So I'm a pro-life guy, right? He's taking a hard stand on it. But what he does by doing that is that he's planting such a fear in those who are committing the crime that maybe they will stop the crime, and maybe that crime or that way of life won't carry on to the next generation.
Absolutely. But maybe 10, 15 innocent people got murdered along the way.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sad. Anyway.
I don't know if we should go into Suicide Squad, but I did go see Mechanic yesterday.
Oh, you saw
Resurrection.
The Mechanic? Instead of The Infiltrator?
That wasn't playing.
Did you enjoy The Mechanic? I couldn't see how you could go see that.
Really?
No.
You didn't even go see it?
Nah, I couldn't go see. No, I come. First of all, I know the original
You
Mechanic.
didn't want to see the pool thing?
No, the original Mechanic, Charles Bronson. Okay, classic film. You know, you can watch it anytime. It's just something about it. You know, the cinematography, the film, the whole setting. The Mechanic that Jason made over the first one. Okay, cool, did a good job. But the second one is more like, to me, just from the trailer and the synopsis, like, oh, you're gonna do this again.
Yeah.
And was it that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
But it was also Alba shows up.
That's the only reason I almost bought a ticket. I ain't not gonna lie. Jessica Alba being in that movie almost got my $12. She almost got my $12. She still may get it.
Dude.
Okay.
Dude.
So she's worth the $12.
She is
$20.
looking well.
Okay. I love Jessica Alba. I think she's one of the prettiest ladies in Hollywood. You know what I mean? I mean, respect to her family, and I know she has a family, but I'm a big fan of her physical appearance.
But yeah, the film made me think a lot about the economics of Hollywood, because it felt like, wow, they must have figured out a way to make this mad cheap, and then they just paid fucking Tommy Lee a chunk, Alba a chunk, Statham a chunk, and then somehow figured out how to like make everything else for like $2 million. You know, I mean, it really
But the quality was
doesn't
down there.
feel low production. I mean, there's some really shitty CGI. No, it's terrible, and I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Statham and stuff.
Yeah, I'm a
But no,
fan
it's
of
a
him.
pretty
I'm a fan
terrible
of
movie.
Jessica. I'm a fan of Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
But I knew that reboot was not going to be.
But I'll see shitty action movies, and I thought you were on that page, but obviously,
No, I see shitty action movies too. But nowadays I can see them on Netflix.
Yeah.
I'd rather wait till they
No,
hit
they
the-
didn't. They didn't have Infiltrator. Wasn't playing at that theater. They only had that and like Don't Breathe or something, and Suicide Squad, Sausage Party.
Yes, I'm gonna see
Sausage
them.
Party. You still haven't seen Sausage Party, right?
No, my wife told me to wait for her on that
That's
one.
good.
I heard that's great.
Good.
That's
Real
Seth
good.
Rogen,
Dude, it's everybody's in it. Jonah Hill,
Jonah Hill. I mean, those are the funniest guys in the game.
the young looking dude from Arrested Development. What's his name? The real babyface guy who's
Mike Cera?
Thank you, Michael Cera.
Yeah. Those guys.
Hater kills it. There's
No.
a character that I thought was Johnny Depp for the entire film, like as a Native American. And I was like, oh man, Johnny Depp, like good call, like way to go to be in this movie. But then at the end, I watched the credit, and I guess it's Bill Hader, but I swear it's Bill Hader doing a Johnny Depp impersonation to be a Native American.
That's-
Yeah, it's funny. Funny
those
movie.
those guys are batting at least 90% when it comes to movies. Every time they put a movie out, you guarantee, especially if you're smoking. You had a little smoke before you went in.
I was advised to have a little smoke
a
beforehand.
little
yeah.
smoke, and you go watch their movies. You're gonna be entertained. But on The Mechanic, was you smoking on that one, or you saw that one clean?
50-50.
Okay. I mean,
But that,
like I said,
Dude,
I may
was-
pay the look. I love action films. I may pay the $12 for it. When I thought I'd wait to see that, like, you know, on HBO or something when it popped up, or maybe catch it early on Netflix when it comes. But I'm looking for the action for me. I'm looking for something, you know, since Marvel is doing such a great job
Yeah.
in all their action movies and all like, you got to come hard now, yo.
should we talk about Suicide Squad a little bit?
Okay, a little
About
bit.
how uncomfortable I was by the alligator character.
Good. This young man here, first of all, y'all, you're listening to the RZA, a.k.a. Bobby Steelz, my buddy over here.
Paul Banks.
We are Banks and Steelz, and we are just sitting here chilling, talking. We don't know how long we're going to be talking, but we're talking right now, and we're about to talk about something else.
I just was uncomfortable about this alligator character in Suicide Squad, who I felt was just doing something that we're not, supposed to be doing anymore in Hollywood films, which is playing a very bad one-dimensional stereotype.
Yeah, he felt like he was playing like basically a dude from
man. B.E.T. Have you seen this, Suicide Squad? Dude,
That's crazy.
It goes real hairy with this one character. Like, I don't know. Maybe I lost my sense of humor, but it felt pretty racist.
Yeah, I saw Suicide Squad with my young son, who's just a big fan, 10-year-old, and so I probably didn't see, like, I actually read when you talked about the racist stereotype, and it's probably right there in my face. But when you're with your son and you're just watching the movie,
Yep.
and you kind of just having the fun of the movie, you kind of overlook all the things about that movie that, I mean, the movie got a very, very low rating, but my kid loved it. You know what I mean? And his favorite character was Jay Hernandez played that fire
No, it's
character.
fun. And then
Diablo, that's his name?
and I was reading reviews and they say, well, that character's racist too. But I liked that character a lot.
Right.
Like I was like, oh, this dude's a badass. But so maybe it's speaking more about me than about the fact that that particular alligator character was super racist. Maybe it was all super racist, and for some reason I focused on that one.
Right.
Because the Mexican guy was dope.
Yeah, you think about it though. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna watch it again now with a third eye. I watched it with only 2 eyes. And I was excited when I saw when I saw Will Smith, like the scene when it was like, do something and he just got those guns and he's just.
That's a great scene.
It's a great scene.
That's a great scene.
And my adrenaline never went down from that point on.
Yeah, when he shoot, like when you realize there's only one bullet hole on each target at the end,
Yeah.
and they're just like glowing because
Yeah.
of all the bullets going through.
No, not that scene.
That's a good scene.
That's a good scene
Yeah.
too. But when he had to practically use it against all those aliens, when he became the dude that just shot, that saved everybody.
Oh yeah, he gets on top of the car in
That
the
was
front.
like a John Wick scene right there.
That was cool. That was cool.
So that scene right there got me. And then watching Margot.
Margot Robbie.
Oh man, she really, to me, she really slayed that film. Like I was digging her in that film.
Yeah.
That character.
But is she? I mean, it's not. It reminds me now that I'm thinking back about Jennifer Jason Leigh from Hateful Eight.
Oh,
That was a great, one of the best performances.
That's an
absolutely,
incredible role.
it's an incredible performance.
That was incredible. I mean, I'm not going to, and Margie did a great job in Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
but she didn't go there now.
No, she didn't go there.
She didn't go there.
But it's a great unhinged female, like masochist. They're
Yeah.
both kind of masochistic.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. I'm going to watch it again for the racism. I know the critics gave it a bad review, but I think some movies are made to entertain the youth.
I hear you. It's just because they made a stink out of, and I mentioned this in Transformers, the first Transformers, there was a big hubbub about some racist robots.
two robots. Hey,
and then you
man.
watch, and it's like, man, okay, that's the same. It's like, we're not supposed to do certain things. And then lo and behold, here's a movie that's like doing certain things that I thought we had
was
all
past-
agreed.
Yeah,
we aren't doing that anymore.
Though we got past that.
Like you can't do the racist Chinese person with the hat and the buck teeth.
Right. Well, I'm writing a film right now where I'm writing one character is just a racist redneck.
Yeah, and you should have license as an artist to be able to do that. You should.
Yeah, he's like, he don't like nobody. You know what I mean?
I just felt because the alligator had no dimension other than to say shit like, I come from the sewer. I got a sewer to get back to. Like just sort of really, I got to ask you a question. Like he has like 5 lines and they're all like appalling.
Yeah, and so David, you're known as one of the David Ayers we're talking to, a good guy.
Oh, and then I should say, his last 2 films, I loved him. Fury is one of my,
he's one of the best
I love
writers.
Fury, man.
He got an Oscar for his writing, right?
Right, okay.
So this guy can write.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
You
And
can't take
I
nothing away
enjoy
from
his
this
other
dude.
pictures.
But maybe on that one, he smoked a little bit. You know what I mean? And he just let it go. But we love your films, yo. And Fury, definitely.
Fury's amazing.
That was amazing. And Michael Pena, what about this dude, man?
Killing it.
Is this guy on fire or
But
what?
did you ever see Observe and Report, which was the first film that made me notice Michael Pena?
I didn't see that.
You
You told
gotta
me
see
about that.
that.
I gotta
He
see
is
that.
fucking. That was his star turn for me. I mean, I don't think after that he blew up. So I think a lot of people noticed, but he killed it in that film, which is an amazing film.
You know which film that got me into Michael Pena? That I first noticed him? And you might see this one, 30 Seconds or Less.
No, I didn't see that.
He comes in.
Oh, don't get me started. Is this the pizza bomb delivery movie?
Yeah.
Okay. Finish your thought, and I got a thought about that.
He came in there as the Mexican dude, the gangster type. He slayed it. He was funny. His timing was perfect. His face, everything. But then when I seen him in I think Destruction
Gang?
LA. No, LA. When the aliens came to LA.
Battlefield LA?
Battlefield LA. And he played the father. Those two dynamics for me, I was like, this dude has magic.
Yeah. No, he's great.
He's destined for an Oscar.
Okay. Wow.
I think he has. I don't know if any Latin brothers ever won an Oscar. Has any Latin brothers ever won an Oscar? Somebody check that for me.
Yeah.
But of course, one did. My man from No Country for Old Men.
Javier Bardem.
Yeah. So he's great.
He's
great.
Spanish.
Yeah, so he got
He's
him.
European.
Yeah.
Maybe
What we
has
need,
a South American or Central American actor one is a question.
Yeah, listen. Well, Michael, I'm rooting for you, boy, because I think you on fire. Even in Ant-Man, his comedy, he went back to his comedy.
Oh, he's got it, dude. He's really got something. But so 30 Seconds or Less, the reason I didn't see that movie was because I thought that the premise was super offensive, because I was fixated on a case that happened in like 1999 or 2000 where some dude showed up on the side of a highway saying, yo, somebody put this fucking bomb on me, please get it off.
Wow.
And like, first, no, he robbed a bank. He maybe robbed 2 banks. And then he like went to the cops on the side of the road. Was like, dude, I'm robbing banks because someone's making me do that. They put this fucking bomb on my chest. Please get it the fuck off me.
That happened for real?
And then it blew up. And he died. And it's on
Holy
camera.
shit.
So that's a real thing where somebody put a bomb on somebody and said, go rob banks for me. And then that person died. And the contraption that was put on this dude was like, I don't think they ever figured out exactly who did it, but it's some genius level fucking gadgetry involved where the guy couldn't take it off himself. So I just felt like when I saw the premise of that movie, I was like, yo, that's a pretty sad news event that actually took place to make a kind of slapstick comedy about.
That was funny.
So
as
that's
shit,
why I didn't see it. It was funny as shit.
Danny McBride also, dude. That dude is a fucking fool.
Yeah, he's the shit.
He's on fire. So anyway, my name is the RZA, aka Bobby Steelz.
I'm Paul Banks.
We're doing a live podcast just talking about a lot of different things. We talked about a lot of people and shit, and hope nobody get offended by the shit we said about them. But hey, you know, we talking, it's early, we just had our coffee and shit. I guess we should now maybe talk about ourselves and shit just to kind of equal out the battlefield or some shit. The playing field, as they say. Well, yeah, what do you think about our collaboration versus our collaborations in the past?
It's been a lot of fun.
I agree.
I don't know, I feel like I've really only collaborated in depth with, you know, a few people, with my band, with you, in terms of writing, creating music. Other than that, I've done it primarily by myself. And it's just a very different experience, man. I don't know, when I was a teenager almost when I first joined Interpol, and that was, you know, my learning experience collaborating with people. But then there's been other people who I've tried to collaborate with and like didn't really kind of gel, didn't vibe. So I feel like, you know, we have that rare thing, which is just 2 people whose, you know, creativity can be complementary, and we can wind up with something totally different than what either of us could do by ourselves, and it's been enjoyable.
Yeah, I guess I can echo those words, because I was checking out some of our music, and I was like, you know, there's a lot of songs on our record that wouldn't fit normally, definitely in my Wu-Tang catalog. And even on my solo projects, you know, when I did Bobby Digital, it's songs on our record that don't fit. It only fits in our world of what our collaboration brings together. And for me, that's, you know, that's fulfilling and exciting. You know what I mean? Because it's like when you pour, you know, you ever pour different juices together from your refrigerator? You may have, I don't know if you do this, but no, I do though. I may get I try different juices together. You know, I may get orange and get some mango, some white grape, you know what I mean? And and some blueberry, and I'll shake that up.
Oh, shit.
And I'll make that a drink. And I do it because my son, he sees me drinking cocktails, so I make him a fruit cocktail.
Yeah,
right?
cool.
But you never know what the flavor is going to be, but sometimes always come out good. I feel like we have a chemistry that's unique, that when we put it together, it makes something unique. You know, being who we are is who we are, but I think we multiply creatively. If I could put it in a simple term, I think when me and Paul come together, there's a creative multiplication that happens. And, you know, I would love for the fans to absorb it and to join this ride with us, right?
Absolutely.
We've been on the road now for about 2 weeks, and playing different venues. How's that been for you, playing music, in this capacity?
It's a lot of fun, and it feels like it's kind of developing as we go. The last 3 shows in a row have just been better and better and better. So yeah, I'm kind of bummed this is the last show of this leg, actually, because we're going places.
So we got a show in Chicago, then we got like a week off.
Yeah.
Then we got James Corden.
Oh shit, I forgot about that.
That's gonna be exciting. Well, we're out here showing the world our music. We're having fun. Our record is called Banks and Steelz, Anything But Words. I know we just gave you guys a lot of words over the last 30, 40 minutes. But not seriously, if you love music, I would say definitely check out our record.
Check it out.
And get back at us, yo. Banks and Steelz in the building.
Thank you very much.
I shot the wolf with a silver bullet. He didn't think that I would pull it. trying to block the path I was headed. I'm trying to get back on my good foot. They ain't scratching the back of the good book. Shit, little nigga, that's a good look. Black hooded, 40 acres of land developed, 40 acres wooded. So much gold, we don't know where to put it. Follow the rainbow pot to cook with. I call Paul the bacon. 40 tails up back.
Hi, I'm Elia Einhorn, and you've been listening to RZA and Paul Banks on the Talkhouse Music Podcast. Subscribe to Talkhouse Music and Talkhouse Film Podcasts on Stitcher or iTunes. Upcoming artist pairings include Wyclef Jean discussing the Fugees' album The Score 20 Years On with the Arcade Fire's Will Butler, and electronic music pioneer Jean-Michel Jarre with Vince Clarke, the songwriter behind huge hits for his ex-groups Depeche Mode and Yazoo, as well as his current band Erasure. This talk was recorded and mixed by Mark Yoshizumi. Till next time.